Good morning. It's Bob again, bringing you another reflection, yet another one on forgiveness and unforgiving. And I was tardy on my post yesterday because, I got a grandbaby and very invested there. We are looking at this whole idea of forgiving and the freedom that it brings. And today I want to just visit real briefly this idea of forgiving the church, forgiving God's people. I think that over the years, one of the things I have found consistently is that lots of people associate God's people and God very tightly. And so when God's people hurt us, it really messes with our whole, ideas about God and different kind of things like that. And I want to say to you this morning that God's people, God's family, us, the church, we have inflicted a lot of hurt on a lot of people. And I have, over a long period of time, actually taken it upon myself to take responsibility for apologizing, especially to non-believers, but to other believers who've been shelved or, hurt by the church, that the church has done a lot of hurting. And because the church is full of people that are hurting, and hurting people hurt people. And what ends up happening is we end up getting really guarded, and we will come to church because we know that that's important to God, and that our faith in God's people are something that are intrinsically tied together. But then what ends up happening is, because we have been hurt, we get we go in, guards up, shields up, shields up, Captain, and we have our shields up. And so we come in and we're very protected. And part of the reason why we stay in this state and don't get to participate and benefit from the intimacy and the beauty of being able to be connected with other people deeply and in a lasting way, what we don't get. We don't get that because we get stuck in our bitterness toward people in the church. And so we come unprotected, and it mutes or it hurts God's resources coming to us through people, which is how he wants to do it so frequently. So I want to appeal to you today. Have you been hurt by the church? Not this one or this one, the Springs, or it could be another church in your past, or it could have been a church growing up. But have you been hurt by the church? If you have, I want to say, as a member of the church, not the church, I'm not the church, but I'm a member of that church, that I'm truly and deeply sorry that I don't want you to be hurt at all by us as God's people. But I realize that to be able to draw and to connect and to form into Christ likeness within this family that's called the church, that we're going to need to forgive. And I want to ask you today that if you've been hurt by the church, if you've been hurt by God's people, to forgive the church. Now, sometimes that might be that it might be a whole church organism that you just need to sit down in your mind and forgive them all at the same time. And other ones, it might be just selected individuals within a church. But I want to ask you to forgive the church so that you can go in, guards down, and start to connect with people and start to minister and give and start to be able to be given to and ministered to. This is part of God's best for you and for me. And I want to challenge you to come and to walk into that today. Forgive the church. Thanks so much for joining me. I love you. God bless you.